President Trump escalates Venezuela tensions, declares Maduro's circle a foreign terrorist organization. This morning, President Donald Trump wrote on Truth Social that airlines and pilots worldwide should immediately treat Venezuelan airspace as closed, and simultaneously officially declared Nicolas Maduro and his entire inner circle a foreign terrorist organization. This marks the first time Trump has openly mentioned ground strikes, stating that land operations could also begin very soon. In Caracas, the entire atmosphere is thick with the fear of war, as Maduro has been continuously absent from public view for 4 days. His last confirmed sighting was on Wednesday. On Thursday, only an old recorded video was released to the troops from an undisclosed location. Today, not a single word has come from him in response to Trump's latest attack, fueling intense speculation that he is either hiding in a bunker or attempting to negotiate a back-channel deal with Trump. Several reports suggest a direct phone call took place between the two leaders last week, but this remains unconfirmed. Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez issued an angry statement, asserting that no external power has the right to interfere with Venezuela's sovereignty and completely rejecting every threat. Controversy over second strike on survivors. Another major revelation has surfaced. On September 2nd, American forces fired the first missile at a suspected narco boat in the Caribbean Sea, disabling the vessel and killing some crew members. However, when intelligence indicated that some people had survived and were floating in the water, a second lethal strike was carried out under a standing order from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, killing the remaining 11 survivors and sinking the boat. Trump had announced the operation and death toll that day, but the second attack on survivors was never publicly admitted. Now, both the Republican and Democratic chairpersons of the Senate Armed Services Committee have announced vigorous oversight in a bipartisan statement, as the laws of war require the capture, not the elimination, of a combatant who has become hors de combat, out of combat. Massive U.S. buildup and expert warnings. The U.S. has now deployed its largest show of force in the region. The USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, over 15,000 troops, more than a dozen warships, and several F-35 fighter jets are within striking distance. Former NATO Supreme Allied Commander Admiral James Stavridis said this evening that the airspace warning suggests airstrikes could begin within the next 72 to 96 hours. Options might start with drone and Tomahawk attacks on drug labs, followed by neutralizing the Venezuelan Navy's 30 ships and the Air Force's 40 aircraft, eliminating leadership targets and destroying air defense systems. However, he strongly advised against a ground invasion, citing that Venezuela is twice the size of California, filled with jungles and mountains, which could turn the conflict into a protracted guerrilla war, leading America into another long quagmire. In Caracas, people are rushing to